This is Audible.
Audible Studios presents Never Never, a romantic suspense novel of love and fate. Written by Colleen Hoover and Tarryn Fisher. Performed by Kevin R. Free and Elizabeth Evans. Part 1.
Chapter 1. Charlie. A crash. Books fall to the speckled linoleum floor. They skid a few feet, whirling in circles, and stop near feet. My feet. I don't recognize the black sandals or the red toenails, but they move when I tell them to, so they must be mine. Right? A bell rings. Shrill. I jump, my heart racing. My eyes move left to right as I scope out my environment, trying not to give myself away. What kind of bell was that? Where am I? Kids with backpacks walk briskly into the room, talking and laughing. A school bell. They slide into desks, their voices competing in volume. I see movement at my feet and jerk in surprise. Someone is bent over, gathering up books on the floor, a red-faced girl with glasses. Before she stands up, she looks at me with something like fear and then scurries off. People are laughing. When I look around, I think they're laughing at me, but it's the girl with glasses they're looking at. "Charlie!" someone calls. "Didn't you see that?" And then, "Charlie? What's your problem? Hello?" My heart is beating fast, so fast. Where is this? Why can't I remember? "Charlie," someone hisses. I look around. Who is Charlie? Which one is Charlie? There are so many kids. Blonde hair, ratty hair, brown hair, glasses, no glasses. A man walks in carrying a briefcase. He sets it on the desk. The teacher. I am in a classroom, and that is the teacher. High school or college, I wonder. I stand up suddenly. I'm in the wrong place. Everyone is sitting, but I'm standing, walking. "Where are you going, Miss Winwood?" The teacher is looking at me over the rim of his glasses as he rifles through a pile of papers. He slaps them down hard on the desk, and I jump. I must be Miss Winwood. "She has cramps," someone calls out. People snicker. I feel a chill creep up my back and crawl across the tops of my arms. They're laughing at me. Except I don't know who these people are. I hear a girl's voice say, "Shut up, Michael." "I don't know," I say, hearing my voice for the first time. It's too high. I clear my throat and try again. "I don't know. I'm not supposed to be here." There is more laughing. I glance around at the posters on the wall, the faces of presidents animated with dates beneath them. History class? High school. The man, the teacher, tilts his head to the side like I've said the dumbest thing. "And where else are you supposed to be on test day?" I don't know." "Sit down," he says. I don't know where I'd go if I left. I turn around to go back. The girl with the glasses glances up at me as I pass her. She looks away almost as quickly. As soon as I'm sitting, the teacher starts handing out papers. He walks between desks, his voice a flat drone as he tells us what percentage of our final grade the test will be. When he reaches my desk, he pauses, a deep crease between his eyebrows. "I don't know what you're trying to pull." He presses the tip of a fat pointer finger on my desk. "Whatever it is, I'm sick of it. One more stunt, and I'm sending you to the principal's office." He slaps the test down in front of me and moves down the line. I don't nod. I don't do anything. I'm trying to decide what to do. Announce to the whole room that I have no idea who and where I am, or pull him aside and tell him quietly. He said no more stunts. My eyes move to the paper in front of me. People are already bent over their tests, pencils scratching. 4th period. History. Mr. Dulcott.